Minimax just entered the AI video model race. But how does it stack up against LTX, One, SeeDance, and others? Let's find out.
You already know that the AI video landscape has been evolving at an absolutely breakneck pace. It feels like every few months we're getting a new model claiming, better realism, longer generations, or crazy fast rendering times. But every once in a while, and it's rare but it happens, a release drops that just feels fundamentally different. Not just another iterative update, but a true paradigm shift that completely rewrites what people actually think is possible. And today, we are looking at Minimax H3, which is doing exactly that.
Across Reddit, X, YouTube, you name it, people aren't simply saying, oh, the images look sharper, or hey, there are fewer artifacts. No, they're saying these characters finally feel alive. I really want that to sink in for a second. Because in the world of AI generation, creating a sharp image is, well, it's basically a math problem. But creating a character that actually feels alive, that is an entirely different frontier. It means we're crossing this massive, subjective threshold from mere animation into actual, believable performance.
And so that brings us to the big, central question of today's explainer. Is Minimax H3 the absolute most exciting OpenAI video model we've ever seen? The hype right now is completely off the charts because a lot of creators firmly believe this is the very first open-weight or, open source-oriented video model that genuinely bridges the gap. We're talking about a model that is approaching the mind-bending quality of today's best proprietary, closed-door cloud systems. So, is it really that good? Let's find out together.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the AI video landscape. Number 2, why Minimax stands out. 3, the cloud heavyweights. 4, the local AI battleground. And finally, number 5, closing the cloud gap. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the AI video landscape setting the stage.
To truly appreciate what Minimax H3 is pulling off here, we first got to understand the environment it was born into, right? This space is moving so fast it'll make your head spin. Before we get into the models themselves, let's establish a vital baseline, because there's this massive dividing line in the AI world right now. On one side, we have open-weight, or local AI. This basically means the model's weights, its digital brain, if you will, are fully available for you to download. You can run it directly on your own local hardware, totally privately and freely, assuming you've got the heavy-duty graphics processing power to handle it. On the flip side, we have cloud AI. These are the highly proprietary, lockdown models running exclusively on massive corporate servers. You access them through a browser, pay a subscription, and you're relying entirely on their infrastructure. And, historically, the cloud models have always been light years ahead in quality.
Moving on to section 2, why Minimax stands out, beyond the numbers. So, if cloud models usually hold all the cards, what exactly is Minimax bringing to the table? Well, right out of the gate, it entered the scene with incredibly impressive benchmark results. Over on the widely respected artificial analysis video arena, it quickly established itself among the absolute highest-ranked video generation models, period. It hit the top tier in video editing, text-to-video, and image-to-video. Independent reviews immediately noted that it wasn't just competing with older open models, it was throwing serious punches at the premium commercial stuff. But as we all know, benchmarks in AI video never tell the whole story. Because video quality is incredibly subjective, isn't it? You can't just slap a number score on motion, storytelling, or realism. The absolute crucial point here is that Minimax crossed what a lot of people are calling the threshold of human performance. We are talking about natural facial expressions, highly believable eye contact, and really intentional body language. For a long time, AI video felt like, well, actually, scratch that. It felt like a creepy staring contest with soulless characters just sort of glaring off into the void. While most new models are just focused on bumping up the resolution or fixing weird glitches, Minimax is doing something else entirely. It's generating emotional reactions that are strong and authentic. The conversations in these generations literally feel like they're being acted by a real human being, rather than just mathematically animated by a machine. Which brings us to Section 3. The cloud heavyweights, the proprietary standard. To see just how high Minimax is reaching, we've got to take a hard look at the absolute cutting edge. Looking at Google Veo at the top. This is widely regarded as the overall leader for outstanding realism, incredible physical accuracy, and built-in integrated audio. Then you've got ByteDance's SeeDance, which has quickly become the absolute favorite for professional studios. Why? Because it completely excels at commercial quality output and multi-shot storytelling. Below that is Kling, which continues to just blow people away with dramatic cinematic camera movements. And finally, Runway. Runway's biggest advantage isn't even just raw generation quality, it's their entire ecosystem. They offer in-painting, character consistency, and a robust production pipeline that professionals rely on every single day. This list right here, it's basically the Mount Rushmore of AI video right now.
So where does Minimax fit into all of that? Let's be completely transparent here. Minimax doesn't just sweep the board and beat these massive cloud models in every single category. It doesn't have Runway's slick ecosystem or SeeDance's multi-shot workflow. But it does something arguably much more impressive for an open-weight model. It gets surprisingly, staggeringly close. Reviewers are consistently describing it as the first open-source-oriented video model that genuinely competes neck and neck with proprietary systems when it comes to expressive character animation and dialogue. That is huge.
All right, Section 4, the local AI battleground, David versus Goliath.
This builds a completely new dynamic in the local ecosystem. Running high-quality video models locally has basically been a two-horse race recently. First, let's compare Minimax to LTX. Now, these two have wildly different philosophies. LTX is what you'd call an engineering-first model. It uses super aggressive compression to be incredibly fast, it requires way lower VRAM, and it generates longer videos. It is built for rapid experimentation. But the frequent criticism is that the human performances can feel robotic or emotionally flat. Minimax, on the other hand, is filmmaking first. It sacrifices some of that blinding speed. The generation is slower, for sure, but it spends all that extra compute power entirely on facial animation, deep acting, and body language. It's prioritizing the emotion of the shot over the sheer speed of the render.
Now let's contrast Minimax with WAN. Before Minimax came along, WAN was widely considered the absolute highest quality local model you could get your hands on. WAN is famous for incredibly beautiful motion, high realism, and strictly following your prompts. So what actually changes with Minimax? It's a subtle but massive distinction. WAN gives you highly realistic animation. The movement looks physically correct. But Minimax? Minimax gives you natural emotion. It produces characters that actually appear to think, process information, and react to their environment naturally. Simply put, WAN gets the physics right, Minimax gets the soul right.
And finally, Section 5, closing the cloud gap, the big takeaway. We've looked at the benchmarks, we've looked at the cloud giants, and the local competitors. Let's bring all of this narrative together to see why this is a true turning point for the whole industry. When LTX launched, we were amazed by the speed. When WAN launched, we were amazed by the realism. But Minimax H3 feels like a much bigger release because it's not just pushing one single isolated metric forward. It's combining several vital, groundbreaking strengths into one single package. You're getting that expressive human acting we talked about. You're getting native multimodal generation. It features native integrated audio support, which is something usually reserved for huge models like Google Veo. It boasts highly competitive benchmark performance that challenges the cloud. And incredibly, it has planned open-weight availability. It's improving multiple, highly complex aspects of AI video simultaneously, bringing an unprecedented level of cinematic power directly to the hands of local creators. It's the whole shebang.
And that leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question, a question that is currently echoing throughout the entire AI video community. For the longest time, the debate was just, hey, what's the best local model to play around with? But because of Minimax H3, that conversation has shifted completely. For the very first time, serious professional creators are looking at their local hardware and asking themselves, do I actually still need the cloud for every single project? The fact that an open-weight model is even forcing us to ask that question tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how revolutionary Minimax H3 truly is. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me today. I highly encourage you to go out and explore these incredible tools for yourself.